You started off, and you talked about Thomas Jefferson's letter. I'm at an advantage. I saw you speak at Gonzaga, so I've seen you read that letter before, and I've seen you give this talk once before.
I stay on message. I stay consistent, don't I?
And so you talked about Thomas Jefferson's letter, and you call yourself a student of history. And so I read Thomas Jefferson's letter, and what I think you did leave out is that while they did go to Tripoli, Thomas Jefferson also slept with the Quran by his bed, and when he wrote the Constitution, he incorporated values of the Quran and of the Islamic faith. And so you talk about this, and you kind of trace this history that we have against Islamism or Islamists, and you talk about, you almost paint this us versus them mentality. When you talk about your...
No, they painted us versus them mentality.
But when you talk about, like, you talked about Fort Hood and the personal touch that you had there, but when we talk about Al-Shabaab and like the Kenyan Westgate Mall shooting, I was there the year before that. When we talk about the Taliban in Pakistan, those are people of my community that are being targeted.
Okay,
and
so then why don't you join me in this fight?
Right, and so I am. You've left out, like at Gonzaga.
Why don't you join me in this fight?
And we have, but that's my point. We have, right? When you look at members, when you look at members of the Islamic community, when you look at these open letters that people have written denouncing these fights, and when you look at the people in the Islamic world, in the Middle East, who have joined these fights with the United States, in cooperation with the United States, right? And you look at what they receive in response to that, right? You look at the Iraqi policemen that participated in the fight against Islamic radicalism, whatever you want to call it.
They get detained at Iraq and Afghanistan.
But my point is, where is the value in demonizing an entire group of people if you're looking for their help in
time
return?
Out, Slick.
Right, but that's what you're doing.
You did not hear me demonize an entire group of people.
But you're tracing this entire history.
You did not hear me demonize an entire group of people.
Sorry, continue.
You did not hear me demonize an entire group of people. I was very specific when I said Islamism, Islamists. I never said Muslims, okay? There is an ideology out there that we need to deal with. Now, if you want me to go into a historical exegesis of Islamism, I can start at 622 after the Hijrah and how the verses in the Quran did change. I mean, from the previous peaceful verses from 610 to 622. But there's, no, I'm not choosing anything.
But you leave out a good chunk, like I've seen you talk about, when you reference this history in the ancient era. No,
dude, why do I need to sit here and talk about?
Hold on.
Okay, you want me to make you feel good.
No, that's not.
Now that's what you want.
No,
you
sir,
want me to come up here and blow sunshine up everybody's butt and make them feel good and say everything is hunky dory. There's no bad guys out there. No, I'm not going to do that.
Kind of place, I understand that.
I'm not going to do that.
I understand that as well.
I'm not going to do that. What good does it do? What good does it do for me to stand up here and talk about all the great things? We have to come together and talk about that which is out there is bad. Bashar al-Assad is just as bad as anyone, Abdul Bakr al-Baghdadi. I mean, to drop chemical weapons on your own people? I mean, I stand against that. So I don't know what you want me to stand up here and say. You want me to obfuscate, deny, and dismiss an evil that exists? I ain't going to do it. Okay? I ain't going to do it. So.